Okay, now I just posted live again. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. But what I was saying though is John Stockton was one of them rough dudes too. He don't look like it, but John Stockton used to get down and dirty out there. Like he's like one of the smallest dudes on the team, but he's like the toughest one as well. That's what I liked about John Stockton.
Yeah, Stockton was crazy tough. You know what I mean? And like you saw it in his steals, his screens, all that. Hey, you want to get into this day in NBA history though?
Yeah, what's happening?
This day in NBA history, May 28th, 1938, Jerome West was born in West Virginia. How high up you got Jerry West rates? You want to give him a shout out for a happy, what, 86th birthday?
Um, Happy birthday,
Mhm.
Mr. West. Wake up, Mr. West. Nah.
Yes,
Where do I
yes,
have
Mr.
him
West
ranked?
is in the building. Yeah, where do you have him ranked?
I got him ranked at number 44.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good spot to have him.
No, he was funny though. He's definitely in the top 50 though. I mean, he might even honestly. I said it jokingly, but he might be 44. He's more than likely higher than that. I think I probably will put Jerry West in my top 30.
Well, let me ask you this: do you have Jerry West all time over guys like Rick Barry? We'll just use him for
Yeah,
example.
I do.
Okay, so
Yeah.
here's what I don't understand about Jerry West. Okay, there is a definite argument that Jerry West has never been the best player on the title team. I'm one of those people because I would say Wilt was better than him in '72. Um, and Rick Barry was clearly the best player on a title team. So why would you have somebody that's not the best player on a title team ranked over some players that are like best players on the title team?
Well, let me ask you this: is Rick Barry considered to be Mr. Clutch? Is he known for coming through in the clutch the way Jerry West was?
No, he wouldn't be known as that, but I would take somebody that's the best player on a title team over someone that's Mr. Clutch without being the best player on a title team.
I don't necessarily need you to be the best player so long as you're consistent with the things that you do. So if you can consistently come through in the clutch, I'll take that. Now, I'm not necessarily saying I would take like a Steve Kerr over a Jordan or nothing. However, I probably would take like a Paxton or a Steve Kerr over like what Scottie Pippen did. And that's nothing against Scotty. It's just you don't see Scotty really do anything without Mike. You feel me? Even when he had the team on, even when he was leading the ship, you don't see the same success. So even with Scotty being like the best player on the team, it didn't really equate to the type of victory. So with that, yeah, I'd probably take like a Steve Kerr over like a Scotty. So with that, I could take a Jerry West over like a Rick Barry. I get your argument, but for me, I need it to equate to a consistent thing. I want to see
But is it
consistent.
but isn't the goal to win a title? Like, isn't that the goal? So if like, you give me a player like, hey, this guy can be the best player on a title team, and this guy maybe could, maybe can't, I'd be like, well, then I'll take the guy that's the best player on the title team. Like if we're
Well, look at
drafting
it.
players, wouldn't that factor in?
It depends. It depends on who the best player on that team was. Like you take like a Wilt Chamberlain, you take like a Kareem or something. I don't expect you to be the best player when you're playing against somebody like them or playing with somebody like them. So for me, it really depends on who that best player is. You feel me? If your best player is like I said, like that caliber, one of the greatest ever, then hey, you just got to take that with a grain of salt because it's almost like the Kobe and Shaq thing. It's almost like giving Kobe shade because he played with Shaq, and it's just like, man, come on, bro, that's Shaq. You're not supposed to be the best player with Shaq in his prime.
Well, that was this day in NBA history. Hey, before we get into it, I'm gonna say, oh wait, we didn't even do this intro. So welcome, what's up, y'all? It's May 28th, 2024. We're the HoopStorians. I'm Tony Styles. That's unique. I apologize for my background. I'm out of town working, and I'm staying at a resort, and they don't have any the Wi-Fi only works on the casino floor, so it doesn't work in the hotel room. So I have to do it from down here and all that.
Hey, y'all, how
Uh,
ironic is that? How ironic is that? He is at the casino and the only place for him to go is actually down there to the casino. He's trying to gas y'all. That man is down there gambling. He is out here gambling on the NBA games. Don't let him fool you. There's no work being done. He's working. No, I'm playing. I'm joking.
It's too hard to gamble with the amount of money I got. I don't have gambling money right now. Before we get anything, Bill Walton died yesterday. You got anything you want to say about Bill Walton?
Yeah, that's sad. That sucks that Bill Walton died. Everybody keeps dying, bro. But it's definitely a blow to the NBA world and the fans. So, you know, condolences to his family, condolences to Luke, condolences to all of his loved ones, all of his old teammates, old teams that he coached for. So yeah, just everybody that was affected by it. Definitely condolences to y'all. Again, it sucks. You know, we're losing legends and things like that. I mean, I guess the only good thing is he was up there in age. You feel me? It would probably be way worse for everyone if he was much younger. But given the age that we lost him at, it's like, okay, he at least lived a full life. You feel me?
Well, I think about 80's about the full life. So I think he left a couple years on the table. So 80's kind of like my goal. So we kind of experienced the full range of it.
But
Think
at
of
the
it
same
like
time, look at our level though. Look at our level though. You feel me? 80 would be, good for our level. But when you've been an NBA player, a star, a champion, you got all of these accolades, then you've lived several lifetimes at that point, in
Yeah, I
my
mean,
opinion.
obviously he probably had a lot more packed in. I'm actually, and I forgot to bring it down here. I'm actually currently reading his autobiography, Back from the Dead. Came out probably, I don't know, 2015, 14, somewhere in there. So I'm about, I don't know, 60% through it. It's really a good read so far. So if you guys ever want to check it out, looking for a book to read, Bill Walton's Back from the Dead's pretty cool. I found out Elvin Hayes used to call him at home, when he was in high school, because he would have the keys to the gym, and the San Diego Rockets used to play there when he was growing up. I found out that he got to a concert for free one time, and he was like, "Who's playing tonight?" They're like, "Some young dude named Carlos Santana out of Tijuana." So he got to see one of
Nice.
he got to see one of Santana's first concerts
That's
for
dope.
free. Right. Actually, I
If
uh,
only
I
they
ended up
knew.
call yeah, I ended up calling him about a month, 2 months ago, something like that, trying to get him on the show. I ended up talking to his wife. She said she'd pass along the message. Now I guess I know why he never got back to me.
Yeah, it sucks.
But yeah, I want to say this: if we're talking peaks, like absolute peaks of player, that year and a half he had or so, um, I'd say he's top 10 all time. Um, and like, I mean, it was 18 points, like 15 rebounds, like, I don't know, 5 assists, 5 blocks, which, the scoring wasn't that high, but it was the winning. It was, they just won so much with him playing that way. And if this is what this game is supposed to be about, who wins, and that's what we're really playing for, then you have to have his peak. And like, it was only like a year and a half, but it was just amazing. Just absolutely amazing. A lot of people that saw him play said he's the best player they've ever seen. They just didn't get much of it. So yeah, shout out to William Walton on that. Gone too soon, I think, at 71. Wish he had a few more years left in him.
Fair. That's fair. Yeah. I'm sure the family
So
felt the same. So yeah.
I agree too. Um, so you want to get into the top 10 finals game or conference finals games of all time? You got any honorable mentions? I got a few honorable mentions for some people that lost.
Sure. Let's see. You said for some people that lost.
Yeah, all my top 10 they all won the game. And then I got about
Oh, got
four
you.
honorable mentions that they didn't win the game.
Okay. 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 Got you. Um. Let's see. Honorable mention. Go ahead, cause I got a few
Okay,
of
well,
them
my
here.
my first honorable mention is LeBron James, Game One of the 2009 Finals. They only lost by a point, I believe, but I mean, he went for
No.
49, 3 blocks, 2 steals, 8 assists, 6 rebounds. He shot 66% from the field, 71% from two, 50% from three. He only shot 6 for 10 from the line, though. And maybe if he would have made 80% of his free throws at that rate, they would have won by one just by the simple math. Obviously, it can
Which
throw off the flow or whatever.
which game did you just say?
Game one, 2009.
I got him on my list.
You got him on your list. Well,
I do.
Like I said, I don't have anybody that lost on the list. So like I said, amazing game by him. That's what I always hate about when people talk shit that he lost to the Magic. Like, I mean, he did
That was
all
easy.
that he could. No, I
That Magic.
understand that, but I'm just saying. But I'm saying LeBron showed up that series and they lost, so it's not like he didn't show up. I think he averaged like 38 for the conference finals that year
No,
on good percentage.
LeBron was wilding out, and even that game that you're talking about, their coach told them. Their coach told them at halftime, like, we're witnessing this." Like, I'm misquoting him, but he basically told them, like, "We're all a witness right now," and what he's basically saying is, "We're a witness of this man's greatness."
hmm So, what do you think of the
So
narrative of LeBron didn't show up, that he should have won the conference finals that year?
I've never even heard that. Who said this? What do I think of it? I feel as though whoever said it doesn't know what they're talking about. I mean, if you wanted to say the rest of his team didn't show up, that's completely different. But to say LeBron didn't, that's nuts because of the fact that, and I too used to be hard on LeBron. I ain't gonna front, but at the same time, one man can only do so much. Like, you do got the people that can shape the dynamic of the game with their style of play. So, you can shake up a game playing extremely hard, but when you don't have pieces with you that's moving at the same pace and at the same rate as you, there's only so much you can do. And that's basically what we saw with LeBron. LeBron was ready, but the rest of his team wasn't.
Has there been
So,
series where LeBron hasn't showed up?
has there been series where he hasn't showed up? No. I mean, there's probably a couple of
Well,
games where it looked
2011, I'd say he didn't show up.
the whole series.
The Mavs series, maybe game one, and then the other five he didn't. So if you don't show up in 5 out of 6 games, I'd say that's the whole series for the most part. I mean, he averaged 17.8 points a game. That's just not showing up for LeBron.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
And then like
Yeah.
07, I don't know if you want to say that's defense, but when he scored 22 a game and only shot like 36% against the Spurs in a sweep, maybe we could show. I guess what I'm trying to say is over here at the HoopStorians, if LeBron didn't show up, I'd say it. In
Mhm.
09 wasn't the case. LeBron showed up.
That's fair.
That's the point I'm making. If LeBron don't show up in 2014 after the first 2 games, I mean, like, he put up points and all that, but he was a non-factor in that final series. It was just like
Mm.
empty calorie points, going through the motion, no impactfulness. You know what I mean? Like, I'll say if LeBron don't show up, I have no
Mhm.
problem saying if anybody don't show up. But
None.
what's some other honorable mentions you got?
Okay. Okay. So I have why is this an honorable mention actually? I have to double check. I wonder why I even have that as an honorable mention. Okay. So one of the honorable mentions I have is you're gonna trip when I say this, is Terry Porter. I have Terry Porter
I know the
from
game.
the game
He had like
from
he
game
had like
two.
40. He had like 43 and 7 or something.
Yeah, so it's Terry Porter from 1992, the Western Conference Finals against the Jazz.
The Jazz. Yeah.
He went 12 of 14 from the field. He hit 4 3-pointers, which was as many as the Jazz had hit. That's funny to me. He did well from the free throw line, 13 of 14. He scored 41 points. That is the fewest shot attempts at that point for a 40-point game. So, and then with
Well,
that
I can
he
tell you
had
this. 14 field goals, you said, right? And 43 points.
mm-hmm, he
That
hit
means he's
12.
at that means he's at over 3 points per field goal attempt. If you ever want to try to figure out who should take the most shots on a team, you should always do it by points per field goal attempt. Now, some players, obviously, they're not going to be that good, the more shots they get, so you have
Mm-hmm.
to find the spot where their number still stays at a high clip. And then whenever they start tapering off, that's how offense should be structured. Whoever scores the most per field goal attempt, based off volume, you know what I mean, should get the most shots. And then if the
I
second
feel
best
that.
player gets the second most shots, the third. I guarantee you, and I've never seen a team do it, but I guarantee you, if a team did that, I bet you they would win titles. That's completely maximizing your offense. But continue on with Terry Porter, because 3 points a field goal attempt is crazy.
That's nuts, right? But
Kobe, for
basically,
example, 81 points, 46, not even 2 points a field goal attempt. Show you how good that scoring is. Continue.
Yeah, he was hooping. He was hooping. Like I said, he also gave the 7 assists to go with 6 boards on top of that. So not only was he extremely efficient, but then he's dishing the ball. So when he's not scoring, he's helping other people score, and he's getting the rebounds that they needed, whether it's second opportunities or
Yeah.
defensive rebounds.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's what I got
I
from
got
Michael
you.
Porter.
Yeah, man. I'll be honest with you. After I watched him, I watched the Blazers that year spank the Suns 4-1, and then they beat the Jazz. I want to say they beat the Jazz in 6, but I don't remember exactly. And then I thought they had a good chance to beat the Bulls that year. I said, they did. I said I didn't think they were superstar, but I just thought their guys 4 through 9 were just all better than the Bulls.
Nice.
Because I thought Buck Williams was probably their third best player, and I thought he was just as good as Horace Grant. And then I thought Terry Porter obviously wasn't as good as what's his name, Pippen, and Drexler wasn't as good as Jordan. But I thought Drexler was a lot closer to Jordan than what it was. But then their fourth guy, I like Kevin Duckworth at that time more than Bill Cartwright. I like Cliff Robinson better than John Paxson. I like Danny Ainge better than Scott Williams. You know what I mean? Like just their team all throughout there was deeper. So from the third guy on, I didn't think the Bulls had an advantage. And then they proved me wrong because it didn't matter. Their first guy was just too good.
That's how I be.
So
But that goes back to what I was saying earlier, though. The rest of the Bulls, Scotty particularly was willing to ride with Mike through that. So we're seeing how Mike scoring all of these points is now equating to victories, where before he was just scoring a lot of points.
No, I definitely agree with that. I mean, when he hit 6 threes in the first half in game 1, I knew there was going to be a problem. He don't even know. Next up on my honorable mention, I got a Rajon Rondo from 2012, game 2.
Nice.
Dude dropped 44 points, 10 assists, 8 rebounds, 3 steals. He went 16 for 24 from the field, 2 for 2 from 3, and 10 from 12 from the line. They lost the game, though. Do you think Rondo's a Hall of Famer?
So I'm torn on that.
I don't.
I'm torn on that, and I understand why you don't feel that way. And for me, I think about when Rondo was playing, when he was one of the premier guards. I think about when Rondo was playing, the best guards in the league, in my opinion, or at least the best points in the league at that point were Paul, Williams, Rondo. Who am I forgetting? I mean, those were the top 3 for me. Like there were some other good point guards, but those were the top 3 for me. So when I think about Rondo, I think about how he appeared to be a general for the Celtics. That was a very deep team. Had the big 3. I feel as though you have to include Rondo, which makes it a big 4. So the only problem is Rondo doesn't really have much individual to really justify him being a Hall of Famer. Like he has the title, he had the respect, but I don't know if he has enough of the personal accolades. Like he's nobody scoring.
Part of my knock on Rondo is in both titles he won, he's something like 7 points and 4 assists. That's what he was giving you in the finals. So yeah, I mean, he wasn't really he was a non-factor because in 08 he didn't become what you think of prime Rondo till the 2009 playoffs, which was a year after they won it. And then in 9-10, I don't think he was better than them players. And then maybe like 11-12, 12-13, he got better than them. Maybe we could say those 2 years he was better than them. They went to a conference finals and they lost in the first round. And then by the time it came his team, they started missing the playoffs. And then he started just jumping to a different team every year. Then people like the Mavericks, they just sent him home and said, hey, nothing is better than what you're bringing us. So those would be my thing. And then from the stats, it's like you said, like the accolades, he's like a 4-time All-Star. I don't know if he made all NBA teams or not. If he did, it's probably like 3rd team. So that's what I'm saying. 4 All-Stars with like 9,000 points just really isn't like enough to really get what I think the Hall of Fame should be. So I wouldn't vote him in.
No, that's fair. And yeah, I mean, I don't know that I would necessarily vote him in, but I could see it. So I could see it either way. If a person says he's not Hall of Fame, totally understand it. If a person says he is, I understand that's from them viewing him. That's from them basically seeing Rondo during his peak. During his peak, he may have
Hmm.
looked like a Hall of Famer, but like throughout the course of his career, there's just not enough there to justify it.
I feel you. Feel you. You got another honorable mention?
Um, let's see. You already
Because I
did
got two
one of
more.
mine. Go ahead, because I think the one that I was gonna do, I think you already did, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so 2003 game one against the Mavericks, Tim Duncan. He went for 40, 15, and 7. He shot 70% from the field, 12 for 19 from the line. He would have hit his free throws. They probably would have won the game. But that's one.
What game did you say?
Game one, 2003.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Cause I did find one, and it's actually oh no, actually I'm gonna keep this on my list. So never mind. Go ahead. I thought you had
No,
I thought you were saying one of the ones that I was adding to the list.
no. Just Duncan, 40, 15, and 7 in a losing effort.
Mm.
2003 Duncan was absolutely amazing. People don't give him the credit for what he is. I think that's probably his just zenith as a player.
Who who doesn't give him the credit?
Like people that say Kobe's best season is better than Duncan's best season.
That's a preference thing. I can't really get mad at a person for that. I don't know that that's necessarily based on stats. I don't know if that's necessarily based on anything other than they prefer Kobe to Tim.
Well, I was going to say Kobe's best season, they would say, is '06. He lost in the first round. And Duncan's best season, '03, you win a title. So, like, to me, like, it can't even be a preference thing. It just has to be what it has to be. You
I
get what
mean,
I'm
it's
saying?
I
I never
get it,
argue Larry Johnson. I never argue Larry Johnson. And that's my
but
preference.
yeah, but other people will though. So it's like you know how to differentiate your preference from reality. Not
Right.
everybody can do that. Not everybody does that.
Well, it's silly. It's more silliness. Speaking of Kobe, he's my next honorable mention. You got an honorable mention first, or you want me to give you my Kobe one?
No, go ahead. My honorable mentions. I'm gonna actually put them on a list because there's a couple of people I had to remove.
Okay, 2010, Game 4, Kobe Bryant, 38 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds, 15 from 22 from the field, 6 for 9 from 3. He only went 2 for 4 from the foul line. Didn't really get to the foul line that game. But, I mean, just, and if you really know Kobe, like those shooting percentages in the 70s, 67 from 3, like that's some great
Team
Kobe-ness.
top.
Because Kobe don't shoot like that normally.
That's when Kobe
So
hit you with feeling himself.
you got Kobe over Duncan or Duncan over Kobe?
If I was going with my preference, I'm gonna put Kobe over Duncan. If I was going with who's going
You're
to
trying to
play
win a
more,
title.
if I'm trying to win a title, yeah, why not go with the big man?
Got you. All right, well, let's get into the top 10. Tell me who you got number 10 coming in.
Number 10 coming in. Okay. I am going with MJ. I'm going with Jordan of 1993, game 4 against the Knicks. This is the game where Jordan shot 60%, 18 of 30. This is the game where Jordan is giving us 54 points from the field. Or 54 points. Giving us 54 points. For me, it's good to see Jordan getting over humps. For me, it's good to see when Jordan started coming into being not only the face of the league, but showing people that he's going to be the best player. And this is around, this is around that era and that time where Jordan was that dude.
That's fifth on my list. That's
the all right, for sure.
That's fifth.
Yeah, so that's number 10. You want to elaborate? I mean, if you got him on a list, what
Well,
else?
well, a couple different things. One, people don't realize is they looked dead in the water in '93. They lost the first 2 games at home. They didn't have home court for the first time against the Knicks. The Knicks beat them the first 2, and that tied up the series. And then that put all the pressure on New York going back, and we saw how New York acted with the pressure going back.
Can't deal with it.
You know what I mean? Then, right, and then see what made the game so great for me is Jordan shot 9 threes and made 6 of them. That's very uncharacteristically of Jordan. So 6 for 9, just the field goal percentage was 60, 67, right, 9 through 6 makes, 18 points from 3. from Jordan.
And
So
this is 90, and this is 93. Like, when nobody
right,
shooting that many threes. Because, like I was saying, who was it? I was talking about it a little bit earlier, where Porter, like that was the most that the Jazz had made.
right. So that's kind of why Jordan went up to fifth, because it tied the series. He was down. It clearly swung momentum. I don't think they had momentum after game three. I think they had the momentum after game four. And then it was the 6 for 9 on top of it. You know what I mean? He had 2 blocks. He had a steal. Uh, he had 6 boards. So the assists were down. But like I said, just the efficiency across the board and the 6 threes, especially coming from Jordan. That's why I put it fifth, because that's very uncharacteristic of Jordan. So that's what I got. So tell me where this is on your list. Let me tell you who I had coming at number 10. Number 10 was last year, game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. I had Joker. He had 34 points, 21 rebounds, 14 assists, 2 blocks, 12 for 17 from the field, which is 71%, 9 for 14 from 3, 64%, 7 or 8 from the line, which is 88%. I don't know. Did that make your list?
No, but it should have. If for real, I tried to stay. I don't know. I can't say that I necessarily tried to stay away from like the most recent series, because they've been within the past, like I say, within the past 10 years, they've been doing a lot. So I kind of somewhat stayed away from like
I got 3 games. I got 3 games in the last 10 years in my top 10.
They've been doing a lot. They've been doing a lot in the past 10 years. So that should have been on my list. But yeah, I like I said, I stayed away from, like, for the most part, from the past 10 years, because there's just so many good games. But yeah, that's a great performance though.
What are you expecting out of Jokic next year?
You know what? With Jokic, I don't know. The reason I said it is because Jokic is consistent, so I expect the consistency. I expect Jokic to be like a double-double dude throughout the course of like next season.
Hell, a triple-double dude.
Yeah, you feel me? But at the same time, he doesn't seem to like really like pressure or even like attention like that. And now they're definitely in a scope for all of these different teams. So I can see him kind of taking some steps back. Like, I could see Jokic, even though it doesn't seem like he's been in the league long, I could see Jokic starting to look towards getting out of the league, just because a lot of the things that goes on he doesn't like. So to answer your question, what do I expect to see from him? I expect to see the same, consistency. I expect to see him dropping probably 25 to 27, given.
But do you see him back in the conference finals again, or do you see him back winning the finals? Yeah, but I'm saying, do you see about the team success, or do you see where they're at? Because like we talked about a couple weeks ago, I think they need another all-star moving forward.
If they keep the same team, I can still see them making it to possibly a conference finals again next season. It just really depends on how the season goes. But based on the unit that they have, I could see them coming back.
I got you. Who you got coming in at number 9?
For my number 9, I have Dirk. Now, the Dirk that I have is Game 5 of the 2006 finals.
That's my third place.
Conference finals. That's your third?
That's my third place. Okay. Yep.
So yeah, let's see. Dirk ended up dropping
50.
It was 50. Okay, I wanted to make sure that I didn't give him more than I was supposed to. Yeah, Dirk ended up dropping 50. He outscored the Suns by 22-20 margin within the final quarter. So that
I watched the game. It disgusted me. I remember watching the game.
All right, so
that's why I got him third. That's why I got him third. Well, here's what happened. It was pretty neck and neck. Okay, so here's what happened. Let me explain the series, how this went. Game 1, Raja Bell plays, and Boris Diaw hits a shot to win it 120, 118 or something like that. The Suns lose Game 2, and I believe they lose Game 3. Raja Bell comes back for Game 4. They win Game 4. They lose Game 5, and this is the game we're talking about. It's neck and neck through it's like him and Tim Thomas going back and forth, right? They each got 25 points.
He scored
and then by the end,
straight.
Well, right. And then by the end of the game, Dirk had 50 and Tim Thomas had 25. And actually, you know what? There was another Suns game like that happened one time in the regular season. Rodney Rogers and Vince Carter were going back and forth, and they each got to about 25, and then Vince ended with like 50, and Rodney Rogers ended with 25. So the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, this. I just saw this shit 6 years ago. So yeah, it was just that's why I had it third because it was such a dominating performance from what I remember. You know what I mean? Like it just stuck out in my head. Like I said, him and Tim Thomas had been the hero in the Game 6 victory in overtime against the Lakers. So and then Tim Thomas was supposed to be the dude. He was supposed to be ahead of Kobe and all these guys, like with his high school projections and all that. And then I was like, oh man, maybe it just took him a long time, like it took Nash a long time to really get going. Maybe we're seeing the evolution of Tim Thomas, and then nope. Turns out it wasn't shit. It was nothing. It was Dirk's time to get to the conference, to get to the finals. But yeah, it was a neck and neck game, and then Dirk just blew it open.
Oh snap! I just realized something.
What's that?
I just realized I do have somebody from the past 10 years on my list.
Okay, cool. I mean, Dirk
I have
also though. I want to say this though, but Dirk also he dropped 12 rebounds. He shot 54%, 83% from three, and 94% from the line. And that 94%, he got 18 attempts. Like they couldn't keep him off the line that game.
Dirk was a beast, bro. Like, I mean, what do you do with that? Like, for real, you can't guard Dirk, and then you can't send him to the line because he gonna bust. So it's just like, what do you do with that?
Just try to force him into tough shots and make him pass.
And then he got that awkward, like one leg shot too. So it's just in that high release. Yeah.
Well, you see, everybody's adopted the one leg. Kobe adopted it. Durant adopted it. People be adopting it now. So that's who you got coming at ninth. Let me tell you who I got coming at ninth, though. Maybe you heard of him. So I got Magic Johnson, 1983, Game 4.
Who's that
He
guy?
scored 31 points, 17 assists, 8 rebounds, 9 for 14 from the field, 64%, 13 from 15 for the line, 87%. And now he didn't know that he was doing all that to end up getting swept by the 76ers. That's what all that earned him. But he 31, 17, and 8 and 64% shooting. Over 2 points a field goal attempt. He was killing it.
Yeah, that's nasty work right there.
You got that game on your list?
No, I do not.
Okay. Well, then tell me who you got coming in at number 8.
So for my number 8, do I want to go with this? All right, I'm going with Jordan again. For my number 8, I'm actually going with 89 Jordan. This is Game 3 against the Pistons.
They win?
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's the
ended
series
up
in 89. They lost in 6.
So even though they were trailing by 14, they did ended up beating, beating the Pistons. But in this game, Jordan ends up scoring 46 points to go with 7 rebounds, 5 assists. And like I said, they came from trailing by 14 with 7 minutes left. So that's kind of why we're seeing clutch Jordan at this point.
Yeah, because in 8. Oh, I was going to say 88, they lost in 5. 89, they lost in 6. 90, they lost in 7. And then 91, they swept them. So, to me, that's always one of the good what's that blank look on your face? What's up?
That alley oop I just seen. I kind of got the Dallas and Minnesota game in the background.
Yeah, what's the score?
It's 83 Minnesota up to 80 with 9 minutes left, and Kyrie just scored. So now it's 82 to 83, and it looks like Ant-Man just got. Did he just get a foul? Did he just get a tech? What just happened?
Yeah, I planned on watching it in my room as we were doing this, but to be honest with you, I think this will be the first time ever, if they win tonight, the Mavs, I've ever seen both conference finals swept in the same year.
I hope. Here's the thing. I can't say that I wanted Minnesota to get swept until Boston did it. When Boston swept Indiana, That is the only reason why I wanted Minnesota to get swept because I like Ant-Man. I like this little unit that they got going on. Really, I like Ant-Man. So
Yeah.
I expected Dallas to win, but I also expected Minnesota to at least get 2 games out of this. They look like they
Yeah, I
about to get
expected Minnesota.
swept.
I expected Minnesota to win, and look at lo and behold.
Yeah, I didn't
You
expect
want
them to win, but I knew it was possible.
you want to hear who I got coming in at number 8?
Yeah, who you got? Wait,
I
number
got
eight or number?
Russell. Yeah, it was number 8, right?
Okay, yeah, you're right. I went number 8. Gotcha.
Yeah. So I got Russell Westbrook from 2014, Game 4 coming in. Got him on your list?
He's not on my list, but that was, you know what? I should have mentioned that as an honorable mention, but I kind of had a feeling he'd be on your list because he's a dog. Like that was one of them dog games. So go ahead.
40 points, 10 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 steals, 50% from the floor, 40% from 3, 100% from the line. And that's 14
That,
attempts for 100% of the line.
and that's uncommon for Westbrook, 50%.
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm saying. And so that's why, like I said, when I factor in those Kobe games, like Kobe going 15 for 22, dropping 38, they didn't lose because of him.
nah, that's
I
real.
mean, maybe getting to the line, but so that Westbrook, that didn't make your list?
No,
Okay. What you got at 7?
okay. Now this is a high scoring number 7. All right. So for my number 7, I have Kareem from 90, Kareem from 74 against the Bulls. Game 2. In
Okay.
this game, Kareem gives you 44 points,
Mm-hmm.
21 rebounds, 3
Mm-hmm.
assists, 1
Mm-hmm.
steal, and 3 blocks.
Okay.
It doesn't get it doesn't get much better than that as far as the stats go. Like unless he would have ended up with a quadruple double or something. But as far as filling out a stat sheet, he's basically doing everything that you need a player to do. And then this is
Well,
coming from
well,
your center.
well, well, what do you think of this? Because I have Kareem at 7 too, but it's a different game.
Hmm.
Okay, so I have Kareem from 1980, Game 5 against the Sonics. He scored 38. He gave me 11 rebounds. He gave me 6 assists, 2 steals, and 7 blocks.
That's good.
He also
Yeah,
shot 57% from the field and 72% from the line.
that's great. For real, that's great. Center
So
shooting
why
70 from the line.
so why your game's got the better rebounds points, mine's got the more, I guess, all around with the 7 blocks and the 6 assists and the
Yeah.
2 steals.
Hey,
So I
good
mean,
is
I don't even
good.
know which game's better. I don't even know which game's better. Well, that's how I felt about later on, and I'll tell you when it's the guy that holds number 1 because he had 2 games in the same series that I didn't know which one to go
I
with.
bet you I know who you got.
Okay, well, let's find out. So that's who we got at 7. Who you got at 6?
All right, cross this out. For my number 6, I am going with. I already got that. All right, so for number 6, one of the guys that I was just talking of. Oh wait, is that 6? No, that's 5. My bad. Did I already go with Tim of Did I already go with Tim Duncan Game 3 of 2003?
No, but that's my 4th place person.
Dang. All right. So I got Tim Duncan Game 3, 2003 conference finals against the Mavs. Timmy gives us 34 points, but 24 rebounds. Let that sink in. 34 points and 24 rebounds going up against Dirk and him. 6 assists as well. Being on a team with the likes of like Parkers and all of these assist men, Ginobili, all of that. But no, Duncan's giving you 6 assists, 2 steals. Tim Duncan, 2 steals, 6 blocks.
So 34, 24, 6, 6, and 2. That's filling out a stat sheet. He also shot 63% from the field and made 10 free throws and shot 71% there off 14 attempts.
Shout out to Timmy. Shout out to Tim Duncan. Just the big fundamental getting it done all across the
Al-
stat sheet.
Also, too, people don't realize, like, because they just look at the names on that team. David Robinson was like 8-6 at that point in his career. It was his last season. Tony Parker was only in his 2nd year, and the Spurs, after they won the title with Tony Parker, tried to sign Jason Kidd. because they didn't think Tony Parker was a long-term answer. And then Ginobili was like 9 points a game off the bench too. So it's not like the players that thought, what's up?
Real quick, let me ask you this. Had that gone through as far as Jason Kidd for Tony Parker, do we see the Spurs have the same type of success during that run with Tim? And then also, do we see them with more titles if we replace Jason Kidd, or if we replace Tony Parker with Jason Kidd?
I think so. I think Jason Kidd's a better player.
I think so.
Now we can also argue though, Jason Kidd's not going to drop the 20 points that Parker did in his prime with the efficiency, but literally everything else, the rebounds, the assists, the defense, and I just think that's enough to make it up. What's really crazy is if it wasn't for the Derek Fisher shot in 04 and the Manu Ginobili and one foul on Dirk, they might have won 5 straight. If it's just not for those 2 plays alone, they might have won 5 straight. And then where we got Duncan, if everything else outplays the same, because now he's got 7 rings, including 5 straight.
I mean, Duncan's already in most people's top 10 or at least top 12.
I got him. I got him 6th.
If he would have won 5 straight, it'd be difficult to keep him out of the top 5. But you already got him close to that. But yeah, he definitely.
It'd be difficult for me not to say he's not 1. Because 7 rings, and every year I win 50 games. Nobody else does that. So to me, it would just look like, because you got to add the context of like, the league the way it was and how deep Bill Russell's team was. Like why Russell's got 11, well, Duncan got 7 with a 30-team league and never lost, always won at least 50. So if it's about winning, how isn't he number 1?
Yeah, because Duncan, he can go on tears where he's rebounding just like Russell was, and it's not that Russell couldn't consistently score like Duncan was, but that wasn't his game. Duncan's consistently scoring.
Yeah, definitely. And then too, you know what I mean? At his peak, he was a 25-point-a-game scorer. You know what I mean? If he wanted to shoot more, he could have pumped those numbers up. And then he's always getting you 2 blocks while never being out of defensive position. So I was trying to explain this to somebody. I was on TikTok on live, and I was talking about efficiency, and I was talking about why that keeps Kobe out of my top 10. And they're like, well, how do you have Bill Russell then? Because he only scores like 14 a game on 44%. I go, I understand that, but listen though, but that's my point. So listen to me. This is what I tried telling him. I was like, but he gets you 30 rebounds and 12 blocks. So that's an extra 42 possessions. So when he misses those 7 shots, he makes up for it by getting me 42 extra possessions. That is efficient. The more possessions you have, the more likely you are to win. Right? If you keep the ball out of the other team's hand and you get the ball in your hands more, that is a good formula for success.
Yeah, I don't care if you're the one putting it in a hole. If you're the one that's constantly rebounding the ball, so long as you keep getting these rebounds, you ain't got to score it. Just hey.
And we're talking like a 30 rebound clip, not just constantly rebound, like at 30 rebounds a game.
So that means you're dominating on the boards. Players are averaging what, like maybe 10 rebounds at best.
Yeah.
This is the good players. You feel me? So the best rebounder of the season might give you anywhere from like 10 to maybe 20, but these days we're not even seeing people average 20 rebounds a game. So for him to do it so consistently, get out of here.
Right. And then with 12 blocks. So how many other shots? So who else? Wilt Chamberlain?
Right. But I'm just saying, like, that's not a common thing. We definitely don't see it these days.
Right. But we could understand why 14 points at 44% is not bad when you get me 42 extra possessions on the defensive end.
Yeah.
Right? Like that, it doesn't matter then. You get me 42 extra possessions. So I got in coming at number 7. Speaking of a good rebounder, defender, I got Hakeem, 1995 Game 6 against the Spurs, closed them out. He got me 39 points, 17 rebounds, 5 blocks, 2 steals, 3 assists. He shot 64% from the line and 88% from the free throw line. Or 64% from the field, 88% from the line. And that is still, to this day, the best player I've seen all time. I have never seen nobody better than 95 Hakeem. So for those that haven't watched it, please go back and watch it. I know you probably won't be impressed, but if you watched it in the moment, like it was just so amazing. It was so amazing what that dude was doing.
Yeah, he was. I don't even know what to say that we haven't already said about a king. He just
Who you
everything
got?
that you want from a big guy.
He's everything. Who you got coming in number 5? I already said that Jordan 54-point game was my fifth. Who you got coming in fifth?
All right. So for my number 5, I'm going with Sir Charles. I am going with Charles. 93 Western Finals, Game 7 against the Sonics. We
That
see
was
him.
that was a tough game. 44-24. I watched it live. I remember it. Got like 22 free throws.
Yeah. So he helped them go on a 57 to 28 edge. He like Barkley, bro. When Barkley is on, it's ridiculous. Like when
Barkley
Barkley
is
is
so
on,
efficient.
and we were talking about this before. When Barkley is on, he goes on these crazy tears where he doesn't miss, or if he misses, it's like a minimum. Barkley might shoot like 25 times and miss like 3.
Well, I was going to say this. A really good Barkley game is something like he goes 12 for 15, but gets you like 35, 40 points off
Yeah,
15 shots.
yeah. I mean, even I mean, it's from the free throw line, but even in this game, he went 19 of 22 from the free throw line.
Right. How many shots did he take?
Um, I need my computer. I gotta look it up because I didn't actually write down how many attempts he took.
Got you. Yeah, no, he had 44 and 24. What I didn't like about that Barkley game though, it was like one assist, one block. Once it like why he dominated on blocks, I mean on points and rebounds. It just wasn't that all around Barkley game because when Barkley's really going, he might get you 5 blocks, 5
Everything.
steals, 8 assists. Like he could do all that too, which was crazy
Yeah.
because because for lack of a better term, he was a short, fat motherfucker by NBA standards. And it was just great. That's why I always say if Jordan's talent is 1, Barkley's was like 1A. He just didn't work out like Jordan did. He didn't take care of his body like Jordan did. But like for him to do the things he could do at 6'4" was amazing.
Barkley was probably one of the most athletic, out of shape guys I've ever seen in my life play.
Definitely. Definitely. It didn't matter if he was 280, 260. Like, he just did it. It was just crazy. Like, I always wish that he had like a nutritionist because he even said his pregame meal was 2 Big Macs.
And he wasn't even slow. Like you would think somebody like his size would be. He wasn't slow and he could jump. It was
He had
like
really, really long arms.
because when I think of Mike, when I just Barkley physically, he puts me in a mind of like a Big Baby. However, Barkley and Big Baby are like there are levels apart when it comes to talent, and that's no shade against Big Baby, but it's just
Well,
like
also too though, Big Baby has the advantage being 6'8", 6'9".
yeah, this is true. But yeah, it's just like you feel me. Barkley had like a body type like Big Baby, but he's playing and competing with the likes of like Mike when it comes to athleticism. It's just crazy to me.
Hey, let's do this. Let's just say Barkley was a normal size power forward, right? 6'8", kept all his things, right? Like his arms grew to match an extra 4 inches or whatever. He was 6'8", and he took care of his body. Are we talking about him like we're talking about Mike?
Probably, yeah, probably. He. I mean, we're already talking about him like Shaq, and he don't have nowhere near the accolades as Shaq.
Definitely, definitely. Who you got coming in number 4? Because you already read my
We're
dunking
running out of
game.
time.
That's who I got 4. No, I mean we
All
still got 12 minutes to go through the last 4.
right, for sure, for sure. For number 4, I am going with what the heck? Where my number 4 go? Oh, I already did this one. All right, so number 4, I am actually going with buckets. Jimmy Butler. This is the one. So Jimmy Butler from 2022, Game 6 against
That's
Boston.
my number 2.
Is it?
That's my number 2. Yep.
Yeah. So at this point, this was a playoff high for buckets when he ended up getting 47. I smudged it. Hold up, what was his
Nine,
stats on the
nine,
other?
47, 9, 8, 4 steals, a block, shot 55% from the field, 50 from three, 100% from the line with 11 makes.
This is like one of those games where he shows you why his name is Buckets too, because Jimmy Butler's one of them players who, no matter what team he's on, except for the Bulls, I don't know why, but Jimmy Butler, like he's one of those players that he can just will his team to victory. Not every player can do that, like the greats can, but it's crazy because Butler is one of them players, and it's not like he's one of those big dominant players like a Shaq or anything like that. I feel as though Jimmy Butler is dominant for his position. I don't necessarily feel as though he's a dominant player in the league, but I feel as though his position he dominates people that play his position. And again, this is one of them games where you see him will them to victory.
I feel like he only dominates in the playoffs though. Because in the regular season he's like 19.9, and I mean the series last year against the Bucks, he turned into like 1988 Michael Jordan for that first round series.
Here's the thing. He doesn't need to dominate any other time than the playoffs. You feel me? As long as he keeps throughout the season his team in a position to make it to the playoffs. Because think about it. When you look at Miami, even though they may be on a low totem pole throughout the regular season as far as the Eastern Conference, some Eastern Conference teams don't want to go up against Miami. They don't want to go up against a hefty Miami. They definitely don't want to go up against Miami when Jimmy Butler's playing. It don't matter what position he's in. So,
I mean, we saw Miami was able to get a game off the Celtics, and the conference finals Pacers couldn't get any games.
See, yeah. So, yeah, got to give it up to Jimmy Buckets for that.
Who you got third? My third was Dirk's 50-point game.
Dirk's 50-point game.
That was my third. We already went over it. So who you got third?
Who am I missing? I have. Oh no, you said Dirk 50-point. Oh, this is 40.
Yeah, the one.
Okay, cool. I have Dirk in 2011 Western Conference Finals Game 1 against OKC. Made people totally forget what KD was doing when he ended up scoring 48. Dirk went 12 of 15 shooting. He also went perfect from the line at 24 of 24. That goes back to what do you do with this guy? You don't want to put him on the line. You don't want to hack a Shaq, not Dirk.
Force him into a rebounder role, I guess, is what would be the best thing.
12 of 15, bro.
That's like that classic Barkley games that we start going for.
Yeah. Dirk.
No, shout out to Dirk.
Work.
Yeah, no, Dirk is. I think Dirk was the best European player till Jokic came along.
I could see that.
And then Jokic took that mantle and all that.
I think most people don't even argue against that. You feel me?
I mean, I would still say he's the greatest player of all time, greatest European player. I don't think Jokic has done enough to eclipse his greatness, but better. Yeah, I think Jokic has had better seasons than Dirk's ever had. Just how I feel. I don't know. Who you got coming in number 2? Mine was Jimmy Butler's 47-point game.
So I have another Butler game. You said a 47?
I know which one. It's like 44, right? Something like that.
It's he ended up scoring 41, but it's
41. Okay.
It's game 1 versus the Celtics 2022. He does end up scoring 41, giving us 9 rebounds. He went 17 of 18 from the free throw line. He ended up picking up 4 blocks and 3 steals.
Hey, with both of your Butler rankings being high, what was it, like 2 and 4 or 2 and 5? Is then Butler your number 1 conference finals performer of all time?
Yes, he is. He is. That's because, bro, like when it's granted, he does not win all the time, but it's almost like you can put money on Butler when it's time. Like I remember watching Butler. I remember watching him on the sidelines while his team was losing and just shaking his head like, just wait till I come back. And what he do when he came back? Drop buckets on him. So it's like, yeah, like Butler don't just be out there running his mouth. Butler actually be about it. So that's why Butler, he's an amazing performer in the playoffs, in my opinion. Especially
you know what?
finals.
you guys should have teamed up together because like his nickname is Buckets, your nickname was Mops. You know what I mean? Like that was a perfect combo. You ain't gonna let him know how you got the nickname Mops?
Yeah, I mean, I'm Mr. Clean. You know, we keep things clean around here.
Oh, I thought it's because you were semi-wet.
Nah, she's semi-wet.
You
I just clean up the mess.
just clean up the mess?
Yeah.
There you go. Well, you got to team up with Buckets. Okay, so tell me who you got number one because you haven't said my number one guy yet.
My number one guy, I'm going with Sir Charles. I'm going with Charles of the 93 Western Conference Final, Game 5. You own it.
That's what he's my number one. He's my number one too. Because that's why I said I didn't know I didn't know if I wanted to do Game 5 or Game 7, and so I tried to do a mix up of all these players. So I didn't put anybody in twice. So that's why I left Barkley off for Game 7.
Barkley, 43 points, 15 rebounds, 10 assists, a triple double. He played 47 minutes, so he only sat out 1 minute this entire game. Also, he went 16 of 22 from the field. He went perfect from the free throw line. See, he only had 3 turnovers.
Yeah, we also got to factor in. He also had 2 blocks, 2 steals, 16 for 22 is 72.7% from the field. 11 for 11 is 100%. I bet his true shooting that game was crazy.
Yeah, you got to crown that man. So yeah, Barkley's number one. And when I would watch Barkley in the playoffs, he used to piss me off. Not for any reason other than I did not want my team to go up against him.
Right.
Like it wasn't nothing against Barkley. It's just
Barkley was dope.
Play him.
Barkley was dope. So Barkley was the man. Like his level of efficiency is crazy. I think he's a winning player, even though he didn't win. I think with a little more help, but yeah.
He played winning ball. I'll say that. He played winning ball.
Yeah. What's the score? Because I got to get back to my room. That's the end of the show.
Right now, it's 2 minutes left or 2.5 minutes left. Minnesota up 98 to Dallas is 92.
Well, the shit show only should be able to hold on for 6 minutes. Let's go 0 to 200 real quick.
Finish, please don't make me laugh with that half-ass gimmick. I'm about to get mine and it's about time. Call us Grindhouse, everybody in a house grind. I'm just doing me, I ain't trying to outshine. Trying to kill my vibe is how you get outlined. I don't do it for the views and the likes, boy. I'm just giving you what I wrote last night, boy. I don't care if it isn't what you like, boy. My flow is fucking awesome, ain't it, white boy?
It is, B-Dot. Hey, you know he's got the same birthday as T-Mac, right? Was that a bravado grab?
Yeah, it's love, life, live your. Oh, sorry, love, life, live yours. The motto.
Anyways, yeah, we'll be back next week and worse than ever. Until then, he's unique. I'm Tony Styles. Make sure y'all stay safe. We out.